Hello, everyone. Today, I will be delivering a speech about becoming and rethinking becoming a mayor. Why I have selected such kind of a title? There are two slogans of this meeting: rethinking together and reacting together. And by keeping that motto in mind, I'm going to focus on becoming a mayor in Turkey, how we can rethink to become a mayor in Turkey. After making this interpretation, I'm going to come to a certain point, reach to a certain point. What are we going to do together? Somehow, two slogans of this meeting will be used in this session. We will rethink together and we will react together. It is going to be composed of those two mottos. Today, we do have municipalities and municipal legislations and having elections. And among them, there is an understanding of a municipality administration, and it is being defined as follows in the laws. All of the local needs will be provided by this local administration. It should be local, it should be common, and it should be, of course, serving to some certain needs, so there should be needs. If a municipality provides services which brings those needs to the citizens, it is possible to speak about the presence of a municipality, the people who are living in that community, by producing those services, somehow rising their life quality. And this thought is a very hegemonic domestic thought, so that municipal candidates during the election programs are generally making use of a general slogan. They say that we are going to compete in service. So in their municipal understanding, actually, it is services, producing services which is commonly being consumed by the citizens. What I'm going to rethink is this issue. When we speak about all accepted municipality understanding is enough or not, in today's world, innovative world, why this is insufficient? I believe that it is insufficient. Why insufficient? Because it is very static, it is unchanging type of thing. And when we look at municipality law, in that law, the responsibilities and duties of municipalities, which is over 70, have been listed one by one. And with an old saying, actually, they have decided on some certain issues according to a certain perception. And this is not actually suitable for today's needs. If you are living in a city and if you are establishing a community, within that relationships, new needs may occur. And the identity of that city is coming from producing those different type of needs. If you freeze that, if you close the new need areas to the municipalities, a dynamic municipality service cannot be provided, cannot be achieved. Another important issue is life quality. is so much related with the consumption of services and has been conceptualized with this respect. All people's happinesses cannot be perceived and taken from actually what is being provided. They are being satisfied by producing something. And with this, this is something beyond the new understanding of municipality governance. Then we are having a question. Why? Why? In our municipality understanding, we do have a static point of view, fixed point of view. In order to question that, we need to go to the roots of the discussion, and we need to respond to a certain question. Municipality assumption do have the autonomistic individuals. There is such kind of a presupposition. When we speak about, they are not related with each other. In atomistic relationships, they're only dealing with their own business. It is such kind of a human model. And this human model is so much domesticating our thoughts that in our selection mechanisms, actually, a community composed of such kind of mentality is voting for some certain people, some certain leaders, and the decisions are taken according to that community. So this atomistic individual assumption has already determined our perception. Anthropology states that human beings are not atomistic creatures. They are in relation with themselves. And by being in relation, their life is becoming meaningful. Having that meaning is very crucial. It makes life livable. Here, there is a matter of actually being. According to Heidegger, Heidegger has got a concept. Heidegger states that human being is a Dasein, only present at a certain place. So we are actually in Lasein's description, Heidegger do not conclude by pointing out a certain space, adding another statement, and stating that in relationship, by being in a relationship, by having the concern of other people's concern, and by having worries for ourselves and for the others, we are becoming humans. So, the existence of people who are having concerns for each other is creating the community. And Heidegger's philosophy is looking at the meaningful life of an individual, and within a community it is possible to exist. And what is this community? Community is burning out from the love of space, actually. And it is the altruist approach. Sharing your life and space with other people is creating life. In this relationship, we can speak about a life. In daily practices, you may have this environment, and additional to that, you develop a community feeling, a sense of community. The community which I'm going to develop in this discussion is so much related with telecommunication and digital devices of our present time. Many community-related concepts may be present, but I am not speaking about them. I am speaking within a territory. I'm speaking about face-to-face relationships and the communities which are being established by having that face-to-face relationships. This community should be thought upon. This community is being composed of establishing relationship among people, among individuals. And this community, until the recent times, have been seen as something which human beings may create only by talking. Yes, talking, communicating, interacting, and establishing community is important, but not enough. We know that there are two different features which are having a direct impact. What are they? They are as follows. Within a community, we are having a relationship of actually encountering and having emotional encounters. And you don't have to speak for that encountering activity. And being together. Being together in a space. And the brain studies, cognitive studies, shows us that human beings are interacting with each other when they are together. They actually, by making use of the mirror neurons, they are interacting with each other, and there is an interactional emotional relationship. Then community within a territory is something that's created by having a face-to-face relationship. However, within this community, there is an experience side of the community. And there is the emotional side of the community. When we have an attachment with the community emotionally, actually, we are having the sense of belonging. And the second important issue is the identity. And our identity is being created among those features I have counted. Our discussion will be within the scope of municipalities. And when we speak about the community problem within a municipality, it is essential to speak on some certain features. We generally think in Turkey that community is being thought at the level of neighborhood. A neighborhood on daily basis is an insufficient concept to become a community. Neighborhood, the smallest unit of the city, and so-called assume that a single community concept, if you keep it at the level of neighborhood, you're having the lowest level of fragmented communities mosaic. When you see the city as a mosaic of cultures, it is losing its city quality. And city is not something composed of the total of the performances in this fragmented mosaic-like structure. On the city level, there is a separate community which needs to be established. Within the city, there are two layers of communities. One of them is at the neighborhood level, the other one is at the city level. In Turkey, generally, what is being majorly and widely ignored is this city-level community. And our cities are facing with fragmented, actually, sense of belonging. In order to bring those pieces together, we need to have a city-level community. Actually, the concept of community all alone cannot be perceived as something as a single structure. We do have city, we do have the region, we do have the country, we do have the union of countries, and we do have our world, our planet. Each of them is a community of their own, and each of them, when I'm living, I'm from I don't say I'm from Alsancak, I'm from Izmir, I'm from actually Aegean region, I am from Turkey. I'm always calling that I am a world citizen. Each of them is a community, and each of these communities are assigning me some responsibilities and giving me some certain rights. So we do have multiple identities, and these multiple identities bring peace. If I won't extend this topic from this point of view, I will keep at the level of city, and I will focus on the issue of municipality. Up until now, I have spoken about the concept of community, and I have spoken about the essential features to establish a community. And in order to have a communication with the world, the importance of community and the concept of community have tried to be explained by me. Now I can ask my question. I can say that, what if our municipality perception may change? If change, what happens? Changes, what happens? So what I mean to say is, if we are producing services for the atomistic individuals, how we can shift it to the communicating type of municipalities which are serving to real humans, real communities. Those two municipality concepts and community concepts are totally different from each other. At their basis, one of them has got atomistic individuals, and in the other one we do have the interrelated individuals. And this interrelated encountering type of actually individuals are living in cities. So they need to establish a community and a mayor. In order to speak a mayor about the identity and the wholeness of that city, in order to speak about the sense of belonging for that city, in order to show and see a rising performance, the global scale, they need to have a shift from their fragmented service provision state into a community serving form. So he needs to have a actually shift in his perception, in his governance perception. You can ask. Actually, for this meeting, I have given my first basic message. I said that strategy, basic municipality understanding is focusing on transforming a region into a community. You can ask me a question when I say that. You can ask that, okay, there was the services municipality. Will this new type of municipality not produce any services? This is a wrong question. Of course, this municipality model will also produce services, will give services, but with a different way, with a different manner they will produce. What is different here? The difference is the way of the service provision. In community, services are not fixed. According to the needs of the community, according to the interaction of individuals, it can be diversified, its quality may change. So it's a spectrum of needs, in another way of saying. Now, actually, what we are speaking here is the creation of a participatory service provision, service creation. The production of the service and the way of its actually production is going to be from the hand of the community and is going to be composing that community. And when you provide such kind of a service, when you establish a community structure, that community do have a social capital. You increase that capital and you increase the performance of that community. And here, you are not anymore only speaking about people having relationships, but also you may shift from the sense of owning the majority of votes, and instead you are having a community-oriented type of political approach, governing approach. And the municipality's duty is all of a sudden becomes establishing a community rather than establishing a strategy. Not as actually counting by one. It is giving a space and allowing the numbers to increase, allowing the responsibilities to be expanded. So it is such kind of a space that they would create. Of course, a question appears at the point that we have arrived. So far, you may ask me, what should be done? In order to do that, in order to accomplish this, what should be done? In order to create a community, one of the major basic actually concerns of a municipality should be establishing public spaces and enriching the common spaces. Generally, there is a misunderstanding among us. People think that they need to increase the comfort of their own private spaces. As they increase their private spaces, their life quality is increasing. This is what they assume, actually, when they're increasing the level of the quality and comfort of their own spaces. This is not something true. Only by increasing the quality in public spaces, you can increase and speak about in the life quality. Think about actually closing your doors, your house doors. You are being imprisoned. Your freedom starts as soon as you enter the public space. Your life quality starts at that point. An inescapable condition here is establishing and creating a public space. And public space, of course, generally being constructed physically. In Turkey, there are two types of public spaces: closed areas, like sport halls and also stadiums and so on, conference halls. I'm not related with them. I'm related with open spaces. There are three types of public spaces: roads and squares, green areas, and coasts. We are generally focusing on some certain aspects. We separate the green areas from the other areas, but a green area in a city is also a public space. We should not forget this fact. Public space, when you construct it physically, is not becoming a public space. In order to make it a public space, people should have an activity on that space. And public space somehow have the sense of common ownership. So you commonly own it. There isn't any actually notion of single ownership. Everybody may use it without paying any fee. In that open space, no one to have private and fixed space. The security and safety of this area is not being provided by the hand of the police, rather by using that space. And it's a totally mobile space. It is not a place which you go through. You spend time in that space. In that public space, what is enriching this public space is the events and activities. Events and activities are they actually, if they consider to be the consumption tools, their contribution to life quality would be limited. If you think them and perceive them as something that you can also participate, you can also realize and react with the slogan of the meeting, if you transform those spaces in such kind of spaces, it is becoming meaningful. There's public space. What's happening in this public space? People are coming together, they interact with each other, and they socialize, and they create a community, and they are developing intersubjective judgments, and they transform community into a collective subject, and they act together. Somehow, we come across with such kind of a situation. We, as the municipality, we should establish a public space, and we need to diversify the events and activities. So we need to take out people from their houses and allow them to live in these public spaces. I'm concluding my speech by asking what's going on. We are existing in public spaces. We are acting together. The second slogan of our speech is fitting to this point. We are reacting together. I would like to draw your attention to a point here. All of these actions are calculated. If you calculate them, if you are placing them on some certain people's benefit, and if you carry on your actions to serve your benefits, such kind of actually events do not need any public spaces. Public spaces action is a different type of action. Here, there is no pre-calculation. People are coming together, and they do have an emotional interaction. As a result of this emotional interaction, the reactions are occurring. When we are rethinking together and reach to the destination of reacting together, we may comprehend the real means of this meeting, and this meeting is opening us new doors. And I think that it really switches to the real mindset of municipality governance. Think together, rethinking together, and transforming it and realizing it with collective actions would not even suit the central government this much. It really suits to the local governments. For example, the basic topics of this meeting was pandemic since the early times of the morning. I wonder if we have such kind of public space strategy, if we take the pandemic issue into consideration, how would we think the pandemic issue in that public space environment? What did we do when pandemic started to appear? We locked down people. What do we mean by locking them down? The public space is totally exploited. terminated. When we terminate the public space, we have terminated the communities. Maybe the preventive measures for pandemics somehow made us to comprehend the public spaces in a better way. I have concluded my speech. Thank you very much for listening to me.